Hi, welcome to Bad Music Taste and Other Ways to Ruin Your Life. My name is Dominic.
And my name is Sam. Happy birthday, Dominic. And he has our record this week.
Thank you. This week's record is Collection by the Misfits. This was released in 1986. The copy I have here is a repress on black vinyl. One of the last shows that I actually went to before the world shut down was the Misfits in Philly with the Bouncing Souls the same day. And with that, today we're talking to Bryan Kienlen from the Bouncing Souls and the Beach Rats. Bryan, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. So the Bouncing Souls recently started a podcast called Can You Remember, which you guys can find on their Patreon. That's patreon.com/Bouncing Souls. What prompted you guys to start your podcast?
It's just a bunch of unspent energy, I think. This is the longest we've gone without being on tour, so I think it's another creative outlet for us, you know. And it's new territory. You look very comfortable doing this, but for us, it's pretty funny. It's like very new, and we're just sort of like, you know.
Yeah, this is pretty new for us as well. We started this over the quarantine. So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's gotten easier, but it's still not. There's still nerves involved. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh well, you're pulling it off. You guys seem like pros. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first few episodes were just us talking to our friends, and we were like, well, what if we got JR from Less Than Jake and this guy, and then we just reached out to a bunch of people. A couple responded, so
nice work. Nice work.
And then it's just almost like sort of built up from there.
Yeah, well done. I haven't gotten a chance to. I'm looking forward to checking out a bunch of your other interviews. I just realized that McDermott sent me a link, and I just realized it today, and I was like, what is, and I was like, let me see if I can find out. And I opened it, and I saw you guys talking to Jimmy G, and I'm like, oh, that's great. And then I watched a couple minutes of that, and
thank you.
That's cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice, real nice.
Yeah, McDermott goes up tomorrow, Wednesday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dermo.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've had some awesome guests.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
So you guys recently released the How I Spent My Summer Vacation beer. Why did you guys decide to release a beer, and what was the design process like?
It's funny. That will be my third beer label designed this year, which is weird. Not something I set out to do. I was never like, I want to design some beer labels or something. What happened was, it started with Twin Elephant Brewing they're in Chatham, New Jersey. They reached out to me and they wanted to do a True Believers beer, like an IPA, and would I be interested in designing the label, because I'm the guy who's designed all the records and shirts and everything all these years for the band. Yeah. And I was like, okay. We discussed some quick terms, and I was like, sure, and give me some money and give me some beer, and I'll paint you something. And I painted up a True Believers beer label, and that went off fantastically. And then the second beer label I designed was so I own a tattoo shop where I live in Bradley Beach, New Jersey, and my next door business neighbor is another brewery called Bradley Brew Project, and Mike and Chelsea, the owners of that, reached out to me because they were doing a beer release, which is pretty special. It's called Black is Beautiful, and the story behind that one is a brewery out in Texas. It sounds like I'm like this beer nerd, but it's just whatever. This is since the subject's up. There's a brewery out in Texas called Weathered Souls Brewing, and they came up with this project called Black is Beautiful, where they brewed a dark beer and to raise awareness and proceeds for Black charities and Black causes, kind of in the wake of the George Floyd thing and all the protests, and just kind of keeping that momentum going keeping the conversation going. And they invited breweries all over America to participate. And so what the concept is, like, they're going to share the recipe to their dark beer, but then each brewery will put their own twist on it, on the recipe, and they'll all have the same label. So somebody designed like a Black is Beautiful like beer label, but then Mike and Chelsea wanted me to design the backside of the can. So so I drew up a rose, and I used like red, gold, and green and black as the colors, and with a little banner, and it says #BLM. And so that got printed for Bradley Brew Project's Black is Beautiful beer, and that just came out. And then right around the same time, there's another brewery down here, the Jersey Shore, located in Point Pleasant. And a mutual friend basically was like, "Oh, those guys are Souls fans. Like, you should reach out to them on Instagram, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, I like beer, whatever." And so we met each other. Turned out we had a lot of friends in common, and they invited me to design a label. They wanted to do another Bouncing Souls themed beer, and they're like, "Well, let's do something together." And then actually they came up with the idea. They're like, "We should do our end of the summer beer and call it How I Spent My Summer Vacation. It's perfect." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." So I just redesigned my How I Spent My Summer Vacation record cover with a little bit more of a Jersey Shore twist, because when I designed that record cover, I was living in New York City, and most of what I was drawing at the time was very New York centric. There's always skylines. I was like obsessively drawing New York skylines with everything I did. But I live at the beach now, so I've been like, doing a lot of, converting actually some of my older designs that have skylines into like Jersey Shore skylines, or whatever. And in this case, I got rid of the buildings, or I redrew it as kind of an Asbury Park thing with like there's another city skyline, but with a boardwalk onto a beach and a wave in the foreground. And then I gave the Bouncing Souls logo, which is the sun in both cases. But then I gave him a surgical face mask. So it's got that kind of timely feel, 2020 vibe. Yeah. So there you go. Beer labels and me.
Yeah, I think the Black is Beautiful project, that's really cool. I had no idea like that happened. That's really cool.
really cool. And the same thing with the summer vacation beer. We're doing that. We're raising money for charity as well. So we're going to donate, or they're really going to donate proceeds to a couple of local charities. And there's a Black Lives Matter thing going on in Asbury Park. There's some people that do it there too. So there's like almost like chapters. And I just found out that there's an Asbury Park one. So we're going to donate some of the money to them. And actually, I'm wearing the shirt right now. Music Saved Asbury Park. This is another foundation that some of the money's getting donated to. This was not intentional. I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, but we're donating some of the proceeds of the How I Spent My Summer Vacation beer to AP Music Foundation. This is just their shirt, but it's a great shirt. I mean, this is a great shirt. It kind of did. It kind of did. So
that's awesome.
I like to think we were part of that a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of great shows in Asbury Park.
Nice.
There was that Doing It for Dave show. That was awesome.
That was pretty epic. Yeah, that was actually that was the birth of the Beach Rats. That show.
I think that was Sam's next question.
Yeah, I was just about to say. So, how did the band come about?
All right, I'll try to answer it as quickly as I can. But what basically, Dave Franklin, singer of Vision, rest in peace, was a beloved friend of ours, and both the Bouncing Souls and Lifetime, which is a hardcore band from New Jersey. Yeah. We all came out of the New Brunswick area at the same time. So we're all really close, and we were all really close with Dave. And Lifetime did a lot of stuff with Vision, as did the Bouncing Souls. So when they did the Dave tribute show, the Bouncing Souls wanted to and should have played that show, and same with Lifetime, but neither of us actually could. It just wasn't technically possible for both bands. So what we did is Pete and I from the Souls had a conversation with Ari, and we're like, we should do something so that we can play the show. Let's just form a band and play some covers, just so we can be on the show and sort of represent. And we'll get Dubs to play drums. And so we had 1 or 2 practices with Dubs, and we just put together a set of, I think it was 5 classic hardcore songs. Yeah. It was Salad Days by Minor Threat, Pay to Come by Bad Brains, Nazi Punks Fuck Off because by the Dead Kennedys. What were the other 2 songs? I'm not going to maybe remember them right now. But anyway, we learned a set of 5 cover songs. We played the show, the Doing It for Dave show. Oof, man, I also sang a Vision song with Vision. And let me tell you, just give me a bass and I'm good. I don't know what to do. I can't be a front man. I don't know what to do with my hands. I've been playing bass so long on stage. I'm totally comfortable in front of any size crowd. But if you ask me to sing, just with a microphone, it's terrifying. But anyway, I did that day too. But that was the birth of the Beach Rats. Okay. So we formed that band, and in those practices, we were like, this is so cool. We need to let's record a 7-inch, a 7-inch, of course, is a small
I have
record.
that. I have that Wasted Time record.
Oh yeah. So we decided we wanted to record a 7-inch and all that, and it was still just a conversation. And then Brian Baker, who's also a good friend of ours, moved into the area and was like, I'm here, let's start a band. And we were like, we just did, and you're in it. And that was it. And that was the birth of the Beach Rats.
That's awesome. Have the Beach Rats been working on any new music or anything like that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, out of all the bands like Bad Religion and the Souls and everything, Beach Rats is the only band that's actually capable of getting together and practicing, because we all live in the area together.
Yeah.
And we practice every Wednesday night. We go to Brian Baker's house. He's got a jam room in his basement. We have to enter the basement through the side door, and we have to wear masks. We wear masks the whole practice, which is you get a little sweaty. You get sweaty muzzle. It's kind of, but yeah, we've been practicing this whole time. We didn't do anything for the first 2 months of the hardcore lockdown, but we resumed practice, and we have a full length. We've got 10 complete songs beyond that 7-inch. So we're ready to record a record pretty much. And we actually just picked a studio date. We're going in to record this full length record October 8th, 7th and 8th at the Lake House in Asbury Park.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
There you have it. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that. I saw that you guys did a couple live streams, but Ari wasn't there. Have you guys been practicing with Ari as well?
Yeah, that was the only practice that Ari just didn't. He just wasn't there that night. and Baker none of us knew he was doing that. He just he's just I'm just gonna live stream this thing. We're like, I don't even, okay. And so we did. And you know what else is happening? Actually, a week from today, we're doing something. The Beach Rats are actually playing a quote unquote gig, but it's not really, of course. We're doing a virtual show thing, but we're only doing 2 songs at the Stone Pony. So I'm pretty stoked for that. Just to get inside that building again is going to feel good,
Yeah.
You're going to live stream that or Zoom or something?
It's not going to be live. I don't think it's not going to be live streamed unless we do it through our own Instagram, but it's part of someone else. Some of the folks at the Pony, I don't know exactly who's behind the whole thing. But we were invited by a friend, Jason Dermer. He owns Asbury Audio. He does all the sound, all the PA and all the speakers and all that stuff for the Pony, the Summer Stage, Paramount, all the Asbury Park stuff. He's the guy. He's an old friend of ours. And he's like, hey, do you guys want to do this thing? We're getting a bunch of, I guess it's going to be a whole bunch of different bands. And I guess it's going to run, actually, I think it's going to run like, you know, just like 2 songs from this band, 2 songs from that band, and so on. I think they're trying to get gentleman Jim Norton to be like the sort of host. And it's going to, like a Jerry Lewis telethon type of thing. Like he's just, I don't know. I don't exactly know what the vision is or what it's going to end up looking like or feeling like, but it's a thing that they're doing. I think it's, you know, there's just a lot of antsy musicians and music people on every level of live music that are just like, you need something to do. And there's, you know, there's a lot of fans that need something to hear and try to feel, you know, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, on topic of shows, like, again, I've said it so many times, and I will continue to say it until we can go to shows again, but the first show back, no matter who you're seeing, is going to be insane.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy because all the bands are going to go to, like, all the states. They're going to be, like, they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah. It's going to be nuts. So we've canceled, you know, whole tours at this point and postponed things. And like, I think Stoked for the Summer is the one that hurts the most. I'm really sad that we couldn't do that this year. But hopefully everything's going to be, I'm not going to use the words back to normal because I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I really look forward to the day that we can play a show where there's like that level of reckless abandon that nobody's really worried. Right. And I don't really want to do it before it's that safe either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to have that hanging in the air where people are like social distancing and everyone's a little bit at risk. Like that's just going to.
Because everybody for some reason thinks like, well, if we get rid of the restrictions, then it will go away sooner.
No, I'm glad you understand that that's a really ridiculous idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we kind of already tried that and saw how that happened in some states.
How'd that work out for Georgia and Florida, right?
Right.
And like most of my family lives in Florida, and like most of them have it. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's beat.
My
parents are in Florida too, dude, and I worry about them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone. I could worry about everyone. I mean, I'm in New Jersey. It's like everyone's a little bit like in a weird, jeopardized state, and it's a little weird all around. But
yeah,
I don't know. Just being careful. I feel pretty good. I don't walk around like nervous and scared. It's not that hard to wear a mask and just wash your hands and be careful and mindful and, you know, do the social distance thing. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
how selfish do you have to be to not wear a mask? I don't know. It's
It's good question, dude.
And then, like, to risk your life to see Smash Mouth is just mind-boggling to me.
It's a weird year, to put it lightly. It is a weird year. I mean, it's anything but boring, right? All the stuff's coming to the surface. All the stuff's coming out, you know, like.
Yeah, like we just got our schedules for school today, and like everybody's losing their mind over it. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, I want to see who's in my classes just to know if we ever go back, but I doubt we are. Like, I don't have my hopes up super high because we're gonna be at home and doing remote learning till at least January or like beginning of February. So, but like, yeah, everybody just like went crazy when they found out schedules were out.
Yeah. It must be a trip for you guys, man, with school. Jeez, I forgot to ask you that question. Like, how are you doing with that? You guys have already done months and months of it already, huh?
Yeah. They were like virtual learning until the end of January, and I was relieved because there's gonna be like the jackass who pulls his mask under his chin just to try to piss somebody off, or like
sure.
It wouldn't end well.
Yeah.
No, it's you're setting yourself up to fail kind of a little bit that way. I mean, I hate to be all like negative about it, but yeah, I mean, of course somebody is, dude. Like, at my shop, people like at my tattoo shop, I have my front door locked. I've got a sign on the window that's like, sorry, we're appointment based only, no walk-ins, blah, blah, blah. And people just like, there's just like, people just come and stand in the doorway, and I'll either ignore them, or they'll just like, every now and then I'll be like, oh, what the fuck's this guy want? I'm just going to see. And like, I'll open the door and they'll pull their mask down, start talking to me like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to I want to front kick them like into the street. And I don't know, dude.
I have a Bouncing Souls tattoo. Let me in.
Dude, yeah, when they pull out their phone and they start showing you like their idea and whatever, and it's like, I'm in the middle of a tattoo, like with my client who made an appointment, and like I'm not standing in the doorway like letting out the air conditioner and air conditioning, and then like breathing your like mouth breather scumbag air with your, you know.
Get
your COVID off me.
Like, you have to let me in. The Bouncing Souls were on my top 10 Spotify list last year.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you. I'll be like, thanks, but like, read the sign, and write me, dude. You know. Yeah. It's not that hard. Couple of little protocols. That's all. Just like grow up and just do it. You know, let's get through this thing already. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember like a month ago, they said that all this could be over within 4 to 6 weeks if everybody just wore a mask.
Yeah.
So
you learn a lot about humanity this year, don't you?
Yeah.
You see we're seeing the worst of everybody. I mean, the racists are out from under the woodwork too. Like it's just horrible. It's a real eye-opening year, like, you know.
I mean, it's even like you'll see people our age like saying stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't know whether you're just listening to everything your parents tell you and not educating yourself or what, but
well, that is what's happening, yeah.
Right, like just form your own opinion. You know what I mean? Like, family's family, and you can always love your family, but you don't have to have the same beliefs as them. Like, I think that's a big thing that people don't understand our age.
No, that's really well said, man. Well, you guys are critical thinkers, and I think there's not a lot of them, unfortunately. There's not a lot of people just thinking for themselves, and that's a shame, but that's kind of, when you look around, that's what you see. And when you see people, there are people like when that subject comes up, let's just say like something of a political nature or anything of a race nature or anything, everybody's just got they go to these talking points, and you're like, oh, I know what channel you watch, because you know what I mean? Like, there's two sides, and then on each side there's these talking points, and it's almost like these are your talking points, and people just say those things, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how, I don't know, I don't want to like go on into a rant, but I mean, like, it's just playbook, like lousy, just like, even when somebody makes a good point, there's like a stupid shitty counterpoint, you know what I mean? Like, just because there has to be, like, nobody can agree on anything, you know?
Right, it always just goes back and forth, and I just don't understand why we have to debate human rights.
It shouldn't be a political issue. It shouldn't even be in politics. It shouldn't, you know. And same with health, you know.
Right.
Our health shouldn't be politicized either. Like, this is a national health issue. Like, let's just agree on one thing, like that we're in a pandemic, and we should do these basic couple of things. Let's just listen to the scientists and the doctors, the experts. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you an expert?
Yeah.
But everyone is an expert, apparently. Everyone's an expert at everything.
Yeah.
And like the people who refuse to like wear a mask and social distance, or who think it's a pandemic, are the ones like laying in hospital beds on ventilators right now.
Yeah, well,
we're dead.
Maybe that happening might change their mind. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, people still have the audacity to say it's fake. Like, my mom works at a restaurant, and she'll have people try to come in when there's literally a sign on the door with no mask, and she'll be like, no, there's a pandemic going on, and they'll be like, no, it's all fake. It's not real. And it's like,
It infringes
It
on
is,
my
though.
rights.
It's yeah, you just don't want those people in your life. I just don't want those people. I don't want them as customers. I don't want their business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your mom probably doesn't want them as customers either. Fucking beat it. Go crawl under a rock, you know? But,
Right.
It's
And I mean, like,
I don't know.
going to pick up food is like one thing, but then going to like skate land or stuff
Yeah.
like that, that's just like I don't get it.
If you're with a little creativity, there's so much life you can live around these basic couple of, rules or protocols. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you want to skate, you could skate anywhere, I mean, like, of course, there's like some cop's going to harass you or some rent-a-cop's going to harass you at the mall. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that was always part of skating to me, was like finding new things and places to skate or building stuff, building things to skate. Like, you don't need a skate park, like.
Yeah, because I kid you not, like last night I was talking to my mom and I was like, I miss the movie theater. That was just a random thought I had. And she's like, well, we can get a tent and we can get a projector and go out back and put a sheet on the fence. And there you go. That's the movie theater. So, like, people just aren't getting creative, like you said.
Yeah,
I think that's like a real win to do that kind of stuff. Like, you just win twice. You're being creative and inventive. And it's that much more gratifying too. Like when you pull something like that off, you just like, you finish that day and you're like, man, I did some cool shit. Like, and you grew,
Like, we're like, I miss shows. So I put a projector in like my little basement, like music area, and I'll like play along, like drum along to, like videos like that. And it's the coolest thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super awesome, man. You guys, that's right. You guys are musicians. Bass and drums, Dominic?
Yeah, bass, drums, and a little guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
violin. I play violin. So.
So you're the actual you're the musician.
It's funny because you're the second person who said that.
Just busting your chops, Dominic, because I'm a bass player.
McDermott, when Sam said that she played the violin, he was like, so you're a real musician.
Yeah.
Like, Dominic, we just hit things.
Yeah, just hit things. Yeah. I mean, you've heard the joke, right? What do you call that guy that hangs around with the musicians, the drummer or whatever? There's a ton of drummer jokes, but then there's just as many bass player jokes too. And then there's probably jokes for every guitar, frontman. Frontman jokes are good too. LSD, lead singer's disease, that's a good one.
How do you know if a drummer is at your door? The beat changes every knock.
Yeah. Good, dude.
Yeah, there's good ones.
Yeah, there's no real violinist jokes though, because they're just like
because they're actual musicians.
They're actual musicians. They're above us. Like what are we gonna make fun of? I don't even understand. I couldn't play violin. A lot of discipline, brains.
See, the one thing though is that now that I've played it for a few years and it's like both hands, I could like easily pick up the guitar, which is something I want to do. So I mean, hey, quarantine event.
Well, I don't know why you guys aren't jam. Do you guys play together? I presume you jam together.
No.
Yeah, McDermott asked the same thing too, but we've never tried. But I mean,
oh my God, just pick a song and play like Pete. Okay, that's how the Bouncing Souls formed. Essentially, it was Pete and me after school, me on bass, Pete on guitar, just learning songs. And it feels so good to play with someone we never stopped. And as you know, it's been about 200 years since we started the band, so that's how good it feels.
And you guys are still so good. Like
right.
last year in December, the Bouncing Souls were one of the last shows that I saw, and that was funny because we got tickets to the acoustic show beforehand. We got out of the Uber and all four of you guys walk out. Like, how perfectly timed is that?
That's just what we do all the time. We just walk out of cars and walk out of buildings together in a line like the Beatles. So that's what we do.
We got like donuts for everybody. I thought that was
that was
funny. Yeah.
Oh man, those were just some serious donuts too. Those donuts were no joke. They were vegan donuts too. Extra, making them extra rad.
I thought that it was going to be on like the main stage at the TLA, and it was in like this tiny little room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Those make the best shows, man. The intimate, small, especially. I think it just goes off better that way.
It's great. Yeah, because I play the bass too, and it's so fun to watch another bassist play.
Yeah, I agree. Probably one of my all-time favorite bass players to watch. I mean, there's a bunch. This is a pretty big list. First one comes to mind right now, Gwamper from Avail. To see that guy lean into, I like bass players who really dig in, and it's like a physical thing, like lean into it, you know. And Gwamper was one of those guys, he's a big groove player, and just crushes it. He's one of my favorite bass players. But then there's like technical guys like Jason Black from Hot Water Music or Carl Alvarez from The Descendants. Those guys are like next level, like whoa, mind-blowing stuff.
I remember I saw Avail last year at that Richmond show.
Ooh, nice, man. You've got some pretty serious shows under your belt.
Thank you. And we were walking to the venue, and Gwamper's just standing there, like, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then Bobo walks out, and then Joe walks out. That was
great guys, too. Great guys. Man, you should try to get one of those guys to be fun to talk to.
Yeah. We've thought about that. Yeah.
I'll try to put you in touch if you want with one of them.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see who's available. Gwamper or Tim Barry or whatever. Any of those guys. Joe, Bo. They're all one cooler than the other too.
Not Avail, but do you think you could help us get Brian Baker?
Yeah. I can certainly absolutely pass it along and put in my best pitch for you.
It's kind of,
thank you.
Like that's been like a slight theme of ours since we started the podcast.
Yeah, so. we were like, goal is Baker.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Brian Baker. That would be a good one. That would be great.
Thank you. I've worn the sheep hat in every interview.
Oh, cool. I've had salad days spinning in my head all day, actually.
Yeah. Me and Sam went to the record store the other day, and she like held up salad days and was like, "Should I get this?"
Dominic's
the answer is yes.
Yeah, he's turning me on to punk music, so I now have two like basic ones. I have Salad Days and I have Milo Goes to College. So I'm slowly getting into it.
Oh, okay? Great. That's a great start. It's pretty much there's no turning back after that. You know, you got those records.
I'm already too far in.
Yeah, you can't get out now.
Yeah.
You can't unhear that great music.
Right.
Like you hear Bikeage, and then you can never unhear Bikeage.
No. It's hard to get those songs unstuck from your brain. They're going to come back and just going to come back. You know. Awesome.
I got the Filmage poster right up there.
Excellent.
Like total Descendants. I don't know. Fanboy.
Well, yeah, you and me both. They're amazing people too. Like top notch. Hey, wait a minute. Actually, McDermott mentioned that. Did you interview some of those guys?
We did.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We got it was all in like the span of a week too. It was the craziest thing.
And it was like we talked to Bill Stevenson the day I watched Filmage, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Ooh, well, isn't he cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so cool.
We like emailed him Sunday night, and then Monday morning, like I woke up to that email, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can do later today, 4:30 or something like that."
Right, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I love that guy, man.
Right. And then we got to talk to Milo, and then we talked to Doug Carrion, and like Doug has helped us get a lot of people. Yeah, so
Doug was
awesome.
Doug was the first person from the Descendants that we talked to, and then he like set all those up.
Yeah.
He set the one with the one with McDermott up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, dude.
It's all kind of like trickling down.
Yeah.
Like this person gets this person.
Yeah.
I see.
So I mean,
Yeah.
we've tried to go through PR people, and like Sam's favorite band, Palais Royale.
Their PR person shut us down really quick.
Yeah.
So
She was
it was-
like, "It's like your standards are too low. Our standards are too low."
and it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it felt a little bit better that it was their PR person,
Yeah,
not
and
directly
not
from them.
Yeah.
But I was still a little heartbroken.
That's really funny. I think you guys are doing really well with the organic method that you're doing, with just like how McDermott hit me up, and I'm gonna hit up Brian Baker for you, and anyone else.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's really cool. Absolutely. You know what? Right when I'm done with this, I'll send your link to Baker, and we'll get that show on the road hopefully right away.
Thank you. Like we're big fans of like everything that he's done. Like my dad was at that Dag Nasty like reunion show.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys must have a pretty badass dad. I mean, who's taking you all these shows, man? Cool dad.
Well,
Very cool.
thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Wow,
totally
thank you.
enjoyed talking to you guys.
You too. This was great.
You too.
Yeah, really nice to meet you. Happy birthday again, Dominic.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a great one.
Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, nerds.